Hey everybody, Rob Maurer here. Welcome back to Tesla Daily. Today we've got some rumors to go through from China, Texas, and Fremont. Then we have some news on Tesla in India, a couple updates from Elon over the last couple of days, news on Tesla Energy, and more. Pretty nice start to the week for Tesla stock today, finishing up 2.7% to $730.91. That compared to the NASDAQ up 0.9%. You may have noticed last week that I didn't start all the episodes out with the stock price. Most of you know that I don't actually care about the daily movement of the stock, so I think it sets kind of the wrong message to start off each episode with that. I've kind of always done it just to have a historical marker for when we go back to older episodes. I think it's kind of nice to have, but I'm not sure that's worth the connotation that it carries to begin each episode with that. So if you have any particular thoughts on that, let me know in the comments, but that's kind of why I haven't been doing that as much. Obviously, we'll still talk about the stock, especially if there are big moves. Anyway, we'll start off today with a couple of rumors from China. First up, August domestic sales. So this is coming from the Tesla Shanghai Twitter account. We've talked about them in the past. The account does have a pretty decent track record. We'll go through a little bit more of that in a second. But a couple days ago, they tweeted, quote, Tesla China sold about 10.4K in August, excluding export, month over month up 21%. And the Giga Shanghai has a week off because of the shortage of parts, end quote. So obviously important to emphasize that that is just retail sales, so domestic sales. If we put that into our chart tentatively, we can see how important those export numbers are. In July, Tesla sold about 8.6 thousand retail in China and then exported over 24,000 vehicles. And because Tesla has shifted over Giga Shanghai to be the export hub with all of Fremont's production going into North America, high exports are again expected for Tesla from China in August. Ship tracking at the ports has already been indicating that throughout the month. In September, that should be a different story. Exports should come way down, retail sales should come way up, as Tesla will prioritize those shorter lead time domestic sales in the last month of the quarter. So the September China retail sales number, that's going to tell us a whole lot more about both the situation in China and Tesla's overall quarter. We can't learn too much from this until we get those export numbers, which should happen in about a week. Nevertheless, for the sake of completeness, I have been tracking the Tesla Shanghai earlier numbers versus the numbers that later get reported by the CPCA. And with a couple of exceptions, they are generally very close, so pretty good track record. Perhaps worth noting though that this tweet was 2 days before the end of the month. That maybe should increase the margin of error, but that 10.4 is a pretty precise prediction. The track record isn't perfect though. Remember back in June, this account had said that Q2 sales were down 16% from Q1, and then about a week later said, oh nope, down 11%. The down 11% ended up being right, and that first number was about a week before the end of the month, unlike this 2 days before. So all things considered, my guess is that this 10,400 number is close, but we should see in, again, about a week. The second part of that tweet may be even more interesting. So they're saying that Giga Shanghai has a week off because of the shortage of parts. I would have less confidence in this account for information like this. I would not apply the track record on delivery numbers to any information beyond that, but obviously worth considering on its own merit. So we do actually have some more information on this from Wuwa, who does the drone flyovers at Shanghai, from his video on August 29th, same day as that Tesla Shanghai tweet. I'll paraphrase some of this, but basically Wuwa says that they got there in the morning of the 29th. The Shanghai plant looked very quiet, no new cars coming off the production lines. Then writes, quote, as early as last week, when the Model 3 was being shipped to Europe, I heard that the Shanghai factory was shutting down production for a week, probably due to a shortage of chips, and that the production line for the Model 3 in Phase 1 was shut down, while the Model Y was working as usual. We later learned that the Phase 1 Model 3 production line was occasionally working at night last week, and the Model Y shift was not working at full capacity as before. Production was due to resume on August 30th, but it was later revealed that the resumption of production was delayed until August 31st. The entire Shanghai factory seems to be in a semi-stop production state, end quote. So for whatever reason, it does seem as though production has been limited. I think the more bullish take on this that I've seen is that, oh, Tesla just built through their production schedule already, so they're giving people time off. Sure, maybe, whatever the case, looks like we have some downtime here. And remember, we already had that report of about 4 days of downtime earlier in the month to ramp up Model Y production. So what the August number will come down to is how quickly that ramp of production happened versus how much downtime there was taken. But in previous instances in Shanghai, we have seen Tesla take these sort of step changes in production levels, where Tesla's been able to add a couple thousand units of weekly production over the course of just a few weeks. So considering all that, I still feel personally pretty good about where August production will come in. We'll find out in a few weeks, but I actually think it's still more likely than not that August production outpaces July production of 37,000, which was a previous monthly record. All right, moving on from China and over to Giga Texas, we got some pretty big news after our live stream had ended on Friday. We'd been talking for a couple of weeks about rumors of pre-production testing for Model Y happening at Giga Texas soon, and via what I believe originated as an Instagram post from an employee here shared by Joe Tagmeyer, who does drone flyovers of Texas, it looks like that pre-production has indeed commenced at Texas. So basically this would be trial production to work out any tolerances for machinery, basically just making sure that everything is set to go for actual for sale production vehicles. As a reminder, we have previously heard that Tesla is targeting start of actual production on October 1st from Texas, so I think this bodes pretty well for those rumors. Just as a quick look back for how this process kind of unfolded for Giga Shanghai, Tesla had started trial production in October of 2019, then seemed to start actual production sometime in November, and then didn't end up delivering vehicles until January, early January, but that may have been held up a little bit from just approval in China as well as the quarterly calendar. That same Shanghai timeline applied to Texas would imply first deliveries sometime in November or early December, but could obviously be a little bit earlier if those other things were constraining factors on Shanghai. For what it's worth, Tesla in Q1 of 2020 produced about 17,000 Model 3s in Shanghai. Using pre-production as a starting point, a similar production ramp timeline would mean fewer than 17,000 vehicles produced in Q4 this year from Texas. Obviously, could be differences, but the Shanghai ramp was pretty quick, and that is the benchmark that we have. As for Model Y Shanghai, its first quarter of production was about 18,000 vehicles. All right, next up here, just shifting over to Fremont, we've got a quick snippet shared from Global Equity's Trip Chowdhury, a name we haven't heard from for a while, but he was apparently at the Fremont factory yesterday. Not sure if he actually was touring it or just kind of checking out the parking lot or whatever, but he said that the Fremont factory is quote unquote back to normal and that makes him very confident that the fourth quarter will be massive. So I'm not sure that really tells us a whole lot unless he was actually in the factory, which is kind of the only reason I'm mentioning this, but I guess a small level of assurance on Fremont's activity level. All right, next up here, we seem to have gotten a whole assortment of news on Tesla in India over the last couple of days. As we know, we have seen Tesla and Elon Musk pushing for a reduction on import tax for electric vehicles in India. Import taxes right now make any import vehicle prohibitively expensive. Well, there is a report here from the India Times that, quote, several ministries from the government have backed Tesla's proposal to lower import duties on fully assembled electric cars. These include the Road Transport Ministry, Department of Promotion Industry, and Internal Trade and Niti Aayog. The final call now lies with the Finance Ministry, end quote. So seems to be some relatively broad support for a change like that. Personally, I think it makes a lot of sense. The India Times reported that a high-ranking officer had highlighted the fact that it's difficult to expect significant foreign investment without first building an import business, and obviously the high import taxes are detrimental to doing that. Also, if you did see the Teslarati article on this, I do think that quote was misattributed to the Transportation Minister of India. The phrasing in the source article is a little bit confusing, but to me it is a different high-ranking officer that is unnamed. Obviously, that comment would be much more meaningful if it had been a public comment from the Transportation Minister. Anyway, the other interesting part of the article reads, quote, officials have indicated that there will be tariff cuts, but with certain conditions in place, like a mandated level of infrastructure created, which includes building charging stations for the vehicles. Besides that, a domestic sourcing clause may be added, which will compel Musk to buy some components from India itself, end quote. Lo and behold, then we have another report from the India Times, though this is via Bloomberg. They write, quote, Tesla Inc. is in talks with at least 3 Indian auto component suppliers as part of its plans to enter the local market, the Economic Times reported, end quote. So we've got all of that, and then in addition, we've got a report that Tesla has cleared homologation for India, which is the approval process that allows a vehicle to enter a market. Tesla had sought approval for 4 models/variants, though those are not known, so I'm not sure if that's the S3XY lineup, or if it's a couple of variants of the 3 and the Y. Interestingly, it looks like homologation is only needed for intended sales above 2,500 imported vehicles per year. So probably not terribly surprising, but Tesla looking to do more volume than that, even with just starting out importing. Of course, back in July, and this may have just been posturing, but Elon did say that if Tesla is able to succeed with imported vehicles in India, then a factory there would be quite likely. At any rate, exciting to see some progress being made there. A few quick stories left. We'll start off with just a couple of quick tweets from Elon. So Elon did say in reply to a Holmar's tweet today that Beta 10 is coming soon for the FSD Beta. So nice to see the continued optimism there. Holmar's over the weekend had also asked Elon if they would release the FSD visualization to all users with the version 10 software, which is different than the FSD Beta 10. Generally, V10 is referring to the UI from the refresh model S and X. but Holmar said that that's a great ad for FSD, and Elon replied to that saying, good point. So it may be a bit of time if it is actually tied to that UI update, but I agree, it would be nice to see. Next here, really only worth mentioning I think because of the media coverage of it, but there was another Tesla accident involving a police car on the side of the road, reported this weekend by Orlando's Highway Patrol, and the driver of the Tesla claimed to have been using Autopilot. Obviously the driver is still responsible, as we all know. Thankfully, only minor injuries in this instance, but obviously not great timing with NHTSA having opened up an investigation just a couple weeks back on these sort of scenarios. So nothing really new to add to that we haven't already talked about. While Elon still has not directly commented on that NHTSA investigation, he did reply to a Clean Technica article about Tesla being held to a double standard for the terminology they use on their advanced driver assistance systems. But so far we haven't seen any regulatory pressure on Tesla to change that we know of. So that's good, but I do agree that the double standard exists in the media and certain individuals, at least as it relates to Autopilot. Full self-driving, I think there's more valid criticisms there, at least for the time being. All right, last couple of things. One from a Fremont drone flyer, which is taking a look at the test homes that Tesla often does solar roof projects on. A few months back, we had seen them change over from the more dark gray roofs over to a brown roof, and it looks like they've now changed again. So maybe a new iteration here of the solar roof, maybe Tesla just testing out some installations again. Doesn't necessarily mean a whole lot, but we'll see if anything more comes out of that. And then lastly, also related to energy, Tesla did file an 8K with the SEC today, writing, quote, on August 27, 2021, Tesla Energy Operations Inc. and the Research Foundation for the State University of New York entered into Amendment Number 12 of the Amended and Restated Agreement for Research and Development Alliance on Tri-X Module Technology to memorialize an update of the job and investment milestones required pursuant to the agreement as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, end quote. So Tri-X module technology, that's just solar panel technology that dates back all the way to Solevo when SolarCity acquired that. That tied into Giga New York, where they had made commitments that Tesla then took on with the SolarCity acquisition, relating to how many jobs would be provided. So COVID-19 pandemic has allowed Tesla to negotiate for an extension on some of those requirements. Overall, not a huge deal here, but likely to be pointed to by Tesla bears as a sign that Tesla's energy business isn't going anywhere and that they're going to have to, make some refund or something to New York, both of which are not the conclusions that I would have. So with that, we'll wrap it up for today. As always, thank you for listening. Make sure you're subscribed and signed up for notifications. You can also find me on Twitter at Tesla Podcast, and I'll see you tomorrow for the Tuesday, August 31st episode of Tesla Daily. Thank you.